no one really talks about this, but it's crucial. So when we talk about our DNA, here's what your DNA does. We have a hierarchy. And where you view yourself on this hierarchy is going to alter the way you perceive everything else. All right? So let me pull up a page here. All right. And this is going to be very, 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 very important. So you guys should write this down, because if you understand this, you understand everyone. Like, you will understand people. There are two kinds of values, okay? There's perceived value and real value. Perceived value is how most people perceive that individual. So you get a supermodel, Victoria's Secret, supermodel. Most men in here, let's say that's your type, right? Most men in here, where would you perceive them to be? A 0? No, you'd probably rate them at a 10. You take someone like Johnny Depp. What is perceived value? Probably a 10. But if you watch his trial with Amber Heard, the guy is depressed. The guy is sad. The guy views himself like a 2 or a 3 out of 10. Won't even watch his own movies. So real value is how you see yourself. Perceived value is how other people see you. In some instances, when you're beginning, your perceived value is lower than your real value. When I started, my perceived value when I'm driving a piece of shit car, not really nice clothes, have holes in some of my fucking shoes, have no money to go join people for anything, couldn't get a fresh haircut maybe once every 2 months because I had enough money for it, my perceived value was pretty low. But my real value never changed. It's been a 10. That's how I view myself. Sometimes people like to make the money, they like to get the cars, they like to do all the cool stuff, and yet their self-esteem is still garbage. What I can guarantee is if your perceived value is a 10, your perceived value will eventually become a 10. What I can also guarantee is if your perceived value or your real value is a 0, I don't care how high you inflate this number, you will never be fulfilled. So what makes you have actual value? Most people draw confidence from perception. They draw confidence from their money, from their house, from their status, from the name of their job title, from where they're from how they look, for how maybe the shape they're in, their accomplishments. They draw value from shit that doesn't matter. None of that matters. No one cares about your accolades. No one cares about your goddamn cars. No one cares about the money in your bank account. Nobody cares. And the people who care are not worth anything. They have no real value. So where should your confidence come from? I have been this confident, not this skilled, but I have been this confident from when I was literally 15 years old. I'm 25 in 2 weeks. So for a decade, my confidence has not changed because my real value has always been a 10. Here's what I did accidentally, which is why my real value is so high. And it gives me, I have an upper hand here. And I'm going to try and teach it to you. And if you can get this today, you will have unshakable confidence. Confidence that never wavers, no matter your situation, no matter your environment, no matter who you are around. If you draw confidence from anything external to yourself, you have no control over it. I have no control over, did I have control of my car getting hit when I dropped it off at Porsche? Absolutely not. You have no control over these things. You do have control, though, over who you believe you are. And I am so confident that I have massive amounts of integrity, that I'm a high performer, that I love people more than anyone can love somebody. That's how I feel. I'm so confident about who I am. My confidence never wavers. If anything, it only gets stronger because I continue to prove to myself every day that this is who I am. I'm glad you're liking this video. Make sure you click the link below right now and secure your seat to my next seminar. You'll see a link in the description. Get yourself a ticket right now because they always sell out. I will see you in person. If you like this content and you want to change your life in person with me at my next event, click that link right now. Get yourself a ticket. Get one for your friends, your family, whoever you want to bring, and I will see you there. I have given up opportunities, literally, for millions of dollars when I didn't have that. Because the people that I was talking to disrespected me. I felt that they were disrespectful, they were piece of shit people, and even though I would have made a lot of money, I knew it was against who I was, so I didn't want to do it. Because I'm like, the money's going to come anyways. It just doesn't need to be through you. As a matter of fact, the relationship you just burned, the bridge you just burned between me and you, is a way more expensive cost than this one business deal we would have done. Right? So I'll give you a perfect example of this. I went to go buy a house recently in December. And I see this beautiful 10,000 square foot house in Bel Air, crazy view, like as if you're in an airplane. Sickest fucking house, like a villa. The guy owns it as a hedge fund manager. I'm literally about to buy the house. I'm about to go into escrow, like, so my guy writes, my realtor, a broker, whatever, I think he was a realtor, writes up the deal. And he thinks I'm an idiot. Like, I'm just going to go drop like $6 million on a house and not read the contract. Like, I'm not going to read 10 pages, like, yeah, let's pretend. My sister's not been in law school for the last 3 years. Let's also pretend that. So, let's pretend that we're all stupid. So I read the contract, and I don't know if you know this, but when you're buying a house, you pay for the house. When you're selling a house, there are selling costs, seller costs. You're paying for the commissions of the the realtors. You're paying for the escrow fees. You're paying for all this stuff. When you're selling it, you cover those costs. Now you can negotiate it, but usually that's what it is. So when I made a deal, the deal was I'm not paying seller costs. I'm already paying $6 million for this fucking house. I'm not going to add more money to that. Because the whole enticing part of this was that it was a good deal. That was why I was going to buy this specific house. So I'm like, okay. I read the contract. He's trying to fuck me seller cost, almost $400,000. I'm like, so you're literally trying to steal $400,000 from me, thinking I'm not going to notice and I'm a total idiot, right? I'm like, no, I'm not doing this deal with him. Now, imagine I had done this deal with him and I was satisfied. How much more real estate do you think someone like me would buy? And who do you think I would use? Like, it is common sense. It's common sense. But this guy burned the bridge. And guess what else he did? Because he burned the bridge, everyone that I had referred him to, which was about 10 other people who were all about to buy a house, stopped working with him in the same moment. So his greed, literally his greed, which would have made him, I think, $12,000 or $14,000 in commission. Nothing crazy, right? That's what he would have gotten. For $14K, he ruined a massive relationship. So here's the lesson. There are people in your life who are going to do that. There are people who are not. Your goal is to surround yourself in an environment of people who only want what's best for you, regardless of their own opinion. I've given ex-girlfriends advice, even though it doesn't benefit me in any way, shape, or form, telling them, this is what you should do. I want nothing from you. Here's my advice to you. And because I am this way, I'm still in contact with them. They're still my friends. They still respect me massively. Usually when people give you advice, there is an agenda. There's a reason they're telling you something. They want something from you. And people tell you, you should do this. So my goal right now is to kind of show you the difference by identifying what someone's real value is versus perceived value. This is the facade. This is the mask. This is the makeup. This is all the bullshit. This is someone's Instagram with pictures with a bunch of supercars that aren't theirs. I have people who have taken more pictures with my cars than me. It's like, okay, how do you feel about that when you go actually meet someone and none of what you present yourself to be is real? I don't care. Take everything I have tomorrow. I don't change. Would you change if you lost it? Would you feel more confident if you had more money? It's a bad thing. Shouldn't feel more confident if you had more money. If you had more superficial shit, would your confidence go up? If the answer to this question is yes, then you're doing what most people do, which is why most people aren't actually confident. I am one of the most confident human beings in the world, not because of what I have, because of who I am. Everyone draws confidence from the external. I draw it from internal. So here's what we're going to do. How do you determine real value? Well, first of all, at the top, you're generous. Let me clarify. Real value, okay? At the top of this, you're generous because you have way more going for you. At the bottom, you're selfish. The more selfish someone is, the lower they are in self-esteem. Because think of it this way, if I'm in a cave, right, and I'm there by myself, and I'm kind of like trying to look for food, and I found some berries here and there, now what? Well, I'm not just going to go give away the 3 blueberries I got in the last 4 days. I need to think about surviving. But if I am abundant and I have all this food, here, grab some, take some, no big deal. I have unlimited food, no problem. It's abundance versus scarcity. So when you are selfish in any behavior, it's because you're thinking about yourself. You're only thinking about me, not about we. All right? If you're going to think about me, not we, don't be around me. Don't be around me. Don't be around high-value people. High-value people cannot stand selfishness. Now, sometimes they get fooled. You know, I see a lot of these celebrities, they got all these friends that are only around them for the clout, the money, and the status, and the events. They're not really around them because they like them, right? And it sucks to see that. So you want to make sure the people around you are on a similar level. Then, the top of the hierarchy. Top of the hierarchy, they know that they're going to make it. They know, they have the self-esteem, they believe in themselves. So they know they're going to have an unlimited amount of whatever it is they set their mind to. Crucial knowledge. Who do you think is easier to hypnotize? The top. The top, because they're confident. Guess what? They hypnotize themselves to get there. So, do you know what the difference is? Well, you grew up and you emulate your parents' behavior. You emulate your brother's behavior, your sister's behavior, TV stars' behavior. So your brain's seeing people and it's saying, this is how I'm going to act. Let me take a little bit from this person, a little bit from that. As a matter of fact, you guys see the way I gesture? When I first had my first few seminars, I watched the film and I didn't like how my gestures, my hands were like weird, you know? I don't like that. So I consciously made an effort. One of my good friends, Spidey's good friends, his name is Chase. First time I met him, I started talking, he goes, you know, I see your mannerisms, this is from your dad, this is from your dad, this is from your dad. It's before I knew how to do this shit. He goes, but the only thing that I can't understand is, where did your gestures come from? That's not something that you had when you were younger. Like, there's no way it's something that's new. I'm like, interesting that he picked up on that. I didn't even know anyone else knew, because I never talked about it. I just kind of did it. It was like, oh yeah, let me do this. But he could pick up on it from my behavior. So, first of all, we're a lot more predictable. When you know what to look for, we're way more predictable. But we emulate things from everyone. And in this emulation, you're either emulating what you think looks cool, like what do most people do? They're not confident, so they act confident. What's up? Oh shit, my Gucci wallet. Let me grab that. All right. Damn, that's a lot of money in here. Oh my goodness. Oh fuck. Oh, not one, but 2 Amex. Huh. I'm confident. You know, that's how a lot of people are. As opposed to actual confidence. That's called posturing. So we like to posture, we don't like to be. People act rich, they're not rich. It's so easy to see when someone's broke. Literally, it is my job to look at someone and say, who has money, who doesn't have money? You know who has money in the room? Probably the most underdressed people in the room have the most money. Now they're probably also sitting in the back. So you guys know, it's kind of how it works. But here's what I would say. If you're going to emulate behavior, don't emulate behavior that makes you have no confidence and look cool. People care more about how they look than who they are. And if that's the case, then you're kind of fucked. Because you'll always average out back to who you are. How you see yourself is eventually how you're going to be. Who knows Johnny Depp's financial situation? Anyone know? Well, no, there's public record of it. This man had a fuck ton of money.
$1 billion, I think, right?
And then went broke. No money. Broke. Had to go make it back. Why does that happen to someone who made $1 billion? Because they see themselves as not that. They don't see themselves as a billionaire. This is someone who's thrown into, he's good at what he does. He worked hard to get what he does. He's very talented at what he does. But he didn't do the work internally. So you see all these celebrities that make all this money and get all this fame, thinking that their real value will go up. And you know what ends up happening? Nothing changes. It gets worse. All it does is put a magnifying glass on this, because now, at least here you have hope. When I make money, I'll be confident. When I have this, I'll be confident. And then you look and you're like, well, why is this still here? Now I have no hope. I have no direction. Where am I going? It's not when you get there, all of a sudden you gain success. It's who you are now. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do a quick exercise for about 1 minute. You're going to write down perceived value, real value. Where do you think your perceived value is? And what do you think your real value is? Someone who's congruent will be the most confident, the most real. Even if you're not confident, like, look, I'm insecure. I got this insecurity. I got that insecurity. At least you own it. That actually means you're probably more confident than you say you are. But most people try to hide their insecurities. They're like, no, I don't want you to know. Like, I had someone I call up on stage, super fat chick, okay? She comes up on stage and I say, okay, what's your biggest insecurity? And she goes, my weight. I'm like, what about it? She goes, I'm like, say it the way you would normally say it. Remember, Kane, you edited this? I'm like, say it the way you normally say it. And she's like, well, I'm fat. I'm like, gosh, she's fat, round of applause, And everyone's confused. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, okay, let me ask you a question. You're insecure about it. I'm like, you're wearing baggy clothes. Do you think that we can't tell you're fat? Like, do you think we don't see you're fucking fat? Like, you're fat. I see you're fat. Anyone here not see she's fat? No, she's fat. Not to shame her for being fat. Even though we probably should tell people, hey, that's not healthy. It's not like, oh yeah, it's okay to be fat. No, it's not okay to be fat. It's the #1 cause of fucking death. But let's just ignore that for a sec. So, she's fat and she's trying to be insecure about it. It's like, look, just own the fact that you're fat. Say, I'm fat, and now do something about it. Why is she actually insecure about it? Because she's not doing anything about it. She's going to get fatter. That's what she's insecure about it. Because I know I'm fat. Well, let me just keep concealed. Like, how much, what are you going to wear? Like, Shaq's shirt or something? Like, Like, come on. And I'm not trying to make fun of it. I used to be fat, but I did something about it. I say this because, as you guys could see, you can change. Right? You can do something about it. So, if you're insecure, there's some things you can't change. I'm insecure about my height. You think people can't see your height, though? You got to wear, I wore these because Spidey told me to wear these today. All right? And then he's not fucking wearing these today. It's my first time actually wearing them. I literally only bought it for this fucking seminar because he told me he's going to wear them.
I love that my persuasion seminar is after this, because that's the best testimony for it.
It is. It's true. So, long story short here, imagine I wasn't 6'2.5" without these shoes. Now I'm probably 6'4". Oh look, I can't see that I'm wearing fucking 4-inch heels on a, you can't tell? Everyone online's like, oh, this guy is not that tall. Everyone in person's like, wow, he's a little taller than I thought he was. What, do I look that short on Instagram? Shit. I should start putting, I'm 6'2" on the title. No, I'm kidding. Over 6 foot. Maybe I'll get more replies in my DMs. But anyways, most of your insecurities are pretty obvious. Now, gentlemen, there's some insecurities you might have that aren't that obvious. End of the day, I go, this happened literally on stage. I asked the guy, what's your insecurity? He's like, I got a small dick. And I go, and I literally go, I said, oh, great. All right. And he's like, yeah. And I'm insecure about it. And I said, well, why are you insecure about it? He's like, well, because usually they laugh at me. And I said, you should laugh with them. It's funny. Whoop-de-doo, it is what it is. What are you going to do? Get surgery? Nothing you can do about it. So I'm like, you got to get someone who likes you for your personality. Get someone who likes you for who you are, man. Come on. No, regardless, the whole point is your insecurities are bullshit. Literally, bullshit. So we're going to take a second, and we're going to write what we think our real value is. Also, everyone thinks they're so generous. Everyone's like, I'm not selfish, okay? Well, if it's everyone else's fault, and if it's everything around you's fault, and if it's your mom, your dad, everyone else is the reason that you're not where you want to be, you're selfish as fuck, okay? Which means you're probably down here. Now, if you take accountability for everything, and you're responsible for everything, and you say, awesome, and you're still trying to work it out, even if you have insecurities, but you're honest with yourself, you're open about it, you're higher up. Find where you're at, and then talk about your perceived value. Here's the interesting thing about perceived value, since we didn't highlight it. If you are making $100,000 a year, and you think your perceived value is an 8 or a 9, What's a 10? 200 grand? You know? Look at how limiting that is, right? So you want to really be honest about where you're at. Where am I? Here. Where am I here? And then, once you've written it down, I want you to ask the person sitting next to you what they think. And what do you think my real value is? Just off first glance. And what do you think my perceived value is? What you'll find is with someone who has really high real value, their value goes up over time because you get to know them. Someone who has lower real value, what happens to them? You know, I went out with like this, actually, I'm not going to say her name, but a real, like actual Victoria's Secret angel. Like she's signed with Victoria's Secret, okay? Very, very pretty girl. And I'm like, okay, cool. She seems nice. She seems petite. She seems feminine, very friendly. I went out with her for 30 fucking minutes. After 30 minutes, I literally dropped her off on the side. We didn't even get to the restaurant. Dropped her off on the side of the road. I said, hey, get out, Uber home, take care. And while she was getting out, I just called someone else, went on a date with someone else. Right? That is, like this person who I was like excited to go out with, I never do this. I picked out my outfit. I wasn't like, oh yeah, okay, let's grab this. I'm like, okay, I'll wear that today. You know? Let's be specific. Well, in this case, I was just like, get the fuck out of my car. Get the fuck out. It was like, what did I just pick up? You know, like unbelievable disrespect, horrible human being, unbelievable. It's like almost like a curse. It's like, wow, look at how beautiful you are. You have everything on a silver platter, and you just go bleh, all over it, you know? And then you fucking throw it aside. So some people are like that. So what is your perceived value internally? What do you believe? And what do you believe your real value is? Most people spend a lot of time thinking about this, and not so much time thinking about this. It's a lot harder to look at yourself and say, shit, look at where I really am. Then you're going to ask your partner what they think about you. And your partner better not be sweet, because if they are, they're selfish. People pleasers are selfish. They're selfish. They're like, I only care about myself. So if you see your partner and you think they're a goddamn 1, then do it. Say you're fucking 1. You're a 1 out of 10. You have no self-esteem. You're a loser. No, don't be like that. No, for sure not. But, you know, just be like, honestly, like I think, I don't know you, but I think that, you know, this is the way you're coming off to me. You kind of smell bad. You didn't brush your teeth. You know, you're here. All right? Make sense? How selfish is that to not brush your teeth? Ugh. No, I'm confident. No, you're not confident. You smell like shit. All right? So 1 minute to do it for yourself, and then 1 minute with your partner. Go.
If you like this video, make sure you're subscribed to my channel and click the link below to get yourself a ticket to Mindset Master. I'm having a seminar July 25th to 28th in Miami, and all you got to do is click that link in the description to get your ticket. If you happen to be watching this on a later date beyond 2024, well, there'll be an updated link in the description where you can attend a future event.